Hello and welcome to an extra special Thriving Spirit episode today. Today is full moon, lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and I've felt drawn to pop in and do a recording for us in relation to the energies that we are experiencing, the energies we are feeling, the emotions that we're feeling, and what our bodies and beings are or can be moving through in this time period. So if you can't already tell, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I feel drained. And that's okay. I'm still on the ball, I'm still on the game. It really is a time to dissect a little of what's going on for us, a little of where we've been, and a little of where we're going. So I feel that this moon period, this moon phase, is an incredibly important one to finalize releasings, to finalize endings, releasings of old patterns, of old beliefs. And this is where some of that emotional energy can come up and run through the body. Emotions that you're not even sure of why you're feeling them. Wanting to cry at nothing, at seemingly nothing. It feels to me that it is due to finalizing old ways. It's the final release, the conclusion, coming to an ending, drawing to an end, letting go of patterns, letting go of beliefs, letting go of energies, residual energies stored within the body, letting go of thoughts and beliefs and attitudes that have been instilled and implanted into our minds, into our bodies, into our hearts throughout the ages. I'm going to say throughout the ages. Now, we can relate that obviously to childhood, but it really is about the ages. What we've come into this world with, what we've come into living in this time and space with, as much as what has been implanted into our bodies and beings throughout our childhood as we've grown up. So it really is about conclusions and things really drawing to an end right now. So, so of course our bodies are going to feel the impact of releasing those final residual pieces that have been stored within our bodies for so long. Of course, our brains are going to be feeling fried. Our minds are going to be, a little scrambled. Our brains, our heads are going to hurt just a little bit as we let go of those final pieces that have been implanted into our belief systems, into our operating systems, into our thoughts, our dialogue. Yeah, our brains are going to be a little, in a little pain as we let go of these last little bits. So it really feels like this beautiful full moon in Sagittarius, this beautiful full moon eclipse period is really about conclusions. And these conclusions are we're often experiencing these conclusions within ourselves. Yeah, it's not necessarily relating to external conclusions, but rather conclusions within ourselves. And that, again, speaks to simply letting go of residual energies, letting go of residual impacts, letting go of residual implants, anything that we've been processing through the ages and processing in ways that promote healing, processing in ways that are releasing energies build up from within our bodies, our beings, our hearts, our minds. It's about that conclusion within ourselves to finally reach that period, this time space where we are able to remove, release, get rid of those last little residual bits within our bodies. So it's really important to allow ourselves the time to process, but not necessarily understand. Yeah. So I'll say it again, allow our bodies, our hearts, our minds to process and release without necessarily diving in to what the cause was, to where it came from, to what it's all about. And that's simply indicating to us that, when we feel a well of emotion come up and we feel like just letting some tears go, doing it, allowing the tears to flow without trying to understand what it's all about. Because when we try to understand what it's all about, we can actually inhibit the flow, therefore hold up the process of releasing, therefore retain some of this residual and very much unwanted energies, thoughts, beliefs in our bodies, our hearts, our minds, our souls. So, we're not wanting to do that. So we're just trying to allow ourselves to be in that space of allowance and allowing what is to be and allowing what we're moving through to the freedom to move. And that's what it's about, the freedom to move. Yep, processing what we're feeling, processing the thoughts, processing the emotions, processing the physical elements that we're moving through, the tiredness, the exhaustion, the physical pain, whatever it might be, allowing that to move, uninhibited, unrestricted, out from the body. Yeah. So of course, this is the beautiful eclipse period is kind of bringing what has been unseen up to the forefront. Yeah. It also allows us to look at that bigger picture with the full moon in Sagittarius and the eclipse together, allowing that which we are yet to see, allowing that in which has been a little elusive and a little hidden to come to the forefront and create that opportunity for us to look at the bigger picture of our lives. And we can do that more so if we are in that space of allowing the conclusions to occur, allowing the residual energies that we've brought with us through the ages, the impacts, the implants, to move from our bodies unrestricted. Yeah, that being in the allowance of that allows us then to reach that space where we're actually looking at the bigger picture. And the thing that pops for me is the bigger picture around particularly around career paths. I really feel that that's incredibly important right now, that as we process these conclusions, as we draw these things to an end and allow the residual energies, beliefs, thought patterns, attitudes, impacts and implants to move out of the body once and for all, we are able to look at that bigger picture, and it is about our career path. And this is really interesting because I know that a lot of us, a lot in my community in particular, are experiencing shifts and changes within their professional lives and within their career paths. And so that's, so we're coming into that space, this full moon in Sagittarius and eclipse period is giving us the opportunity to look at the bigger picture, to connect in with our soul career. It's about the soul career, the movements, the passion of soul as a career path. Yeah. So as I'm saying that, of course, we're looking at changes. We're looking at the bigger picture of where all of our hard work is leading us. We're looking at the bigger picture of all the changes that we've been experiencing, all the changes that we've been feeling, the thought patterns that we've been, that have been changing, our perspectives, that's the word, our perspectives that have been changing. We get to see the bigger picture as as things draw to a conclusion within our bodies, within our minds, our hearts, as the pain, the impact, as the healing occurs within our bodies through release. We get to see the bigger picture of our soul career path. And that is, it's beautiful, it feels beautiful, but our first step is to be in the allowance of our bodies, our hearts, and our minds to process and move out of us through whatever channels of release are needed, are required, to be in the allowance of that to flow from our bodies. Yeah, we've got to remember not to restrict the movements of emotions, the movements of energies, and the movements of thought. Yeah, we've got to remember to not restrict it, because if we restrict it, if we hold it in, if we feel emotional and we want to cry and we hold it in, we're not seeing the completion of that cycle, the completion, the conclusion of that phase. Yeah? So please just remember that, and, take a little time to just put into your awareness the bigger picture of your soul career path, just as a little seed, so that as you conclude your releasing of old patterns, of old ways, of old thoughts, old beliefs, residual build-ups in the body, the heart, the mind, the soul, as you reach that conclusion, your soul career path is illuminated a little more, and you come into that space naturally and organically to see the bigger picture of where you are actually going in this time and space with your soul career. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for listening. I do hope that you feel a little more at ease with whatever it is that you're experiencing during this full moon in Sagittarius and full moon eclipse period. Keep the conversation going. Let me know how you're feeling, and let me know what drops in for you, for your soul career path. Where are you headed?